Donkey Kong, another staple Smash character all the way from Smash 64. Donkey Kong in Melee placed in the C- tier, being ranked 16th out of 26. That might not be bad placement wise in the modern day of fighting games, but however in Melee you're barely viable once you reach around the C tier. He's not a horrible character, don't get me wrong, he can definitely do some work. Shoutouts to the actual Donkey Kong mains out there, you have more patience than most people. But as of right now, he is pretty below average. He's just generally not the worst, but not the best either. Donkey Kong is a fast-falling, heavyweight character. Compared to the other larger, heavy-hitting characters that are in Smash, Donkey Kong actually moves faster than them, having great mobility, excellent range, and airspeed, and he also hits really hard. His strong grab confirms are also a huge positive for his moveset. When Donkey Kong is able to get in and use his physical pressure like his unique cargo grab and his combo confirms, his strengths really get to shine. Despite being strong in those areas, he has his own reasons on why he's placed this low on the tier list, being pretty much called a low to mid tier character. It's pretty rare to see a high level Donkey Kong in tournament for many reasons. Reason one is Donkey Kong is a large character. The drawbacks to being a larger character is that you get comboed a lot harder. You become a big target, you can get bullied by certain characters that can combo really well and take advantage of Donkey Kong's larger size. Except for Donkey Kong, he has the extra icing on the cake. Donkey Kong can take damage if you hit his tie, meaning you can get clipped by hitboxes really easily. Also add the fact that he falls really fast and is a heavyweight character. This in turn makes Donkey Kong just overall combo food when a character gets to take advantage of him. Along with that, DK is faster relative to most of the heavyweight characters. Just in Melee, that would be Bowser. So he still has end lag on a lot of his attacks, and this can lend him to being a little bit more vulnerable to other characters if they take advantage of him and his more slower attacks. Reason 2 is DK's limited recovery. While his recovery is not terrible horizontally, vertically it really is limiting and predictable. It leaves a lot to be desired. Many characters in the game can spike DK off stage, and when he does his up B, his hitbox is pretty small and characters can contend with it easily if they go on top of him. Think of moves like a lot of top tiers down airs, even Fox's Shine for example. If DK gets hit once off stage, his stock is pretty much gone. He does have his air dodge that can be giving him slight edge while recovering, but it's usually not enough as air dodges can be limiting at times. So this leaves Donkey Kong in turn with pretty much just relying on his up B, which isn't horrible, but at the same time it has its own limitations, so it definitely holds him back. Reason 3 is his shield actually doesn't cover his entire body. Donkey Kong has a unique attribute that many characters don't have, and it's not having a shield that covers his entire body. One of the few characters in Melee to have this problem. Him and even Game&Watch are the only characters in the game that have this issue. This leads to him getting poked by characters through the opening on his shield, usually near the bottom. Marth is one of the top tier characters that can do this really well, like with his down tilt. While he does have moves like his up B that are great get off me tools, if you miss the move though, it can leave Donkey Kong being vulnerable and somebody can hit him back. This makes DK one of the characters really easy to open up in combo because of his lack of defensive options, dealing with pressure and the fact that his shield is so small compared to the rest of his body. It leads to him getting comboed. His power shield also is very important because you can deal with projectile users, because DK doesn't have a solid way of dealing with projectile users. While he does have a decent light shield, don't get me wrong, and I know there's an argument that DK has the same shield size as Sheik, but Sheik's body is overall a lot more slender. Her character model isn't as wide as DK's, so it does benefit her more than DK, who has a much larger character model that doesn't really line up with his shield size. That's really what the main problem is. That means overall DK struggles with projectiles and dealing with projectiles, characters who can pressure his overall small shield size, and it really sucks because DK actually hits really hard when he opens up other characters, but his downsides are when he's on the receiving end of dealing with other characters' neutral options or their punishes. His downsides start to really show. He lacks consistent approach options outside of his back air as well, and this in turn leads him to struggling in the neutral. Once he can get in, DK can do some damage, and that's when his strengths of the character really start to shine. It just really takes a lot to get that one opening when other characters have insane options but don't lack as much in the neutral at times. So because DK doesn't have that good of approach options, that's also holds him back a little bit as well. Donkey Kong versus the rest of the cast. Donkey Kong is outclassed by other characters mostly because he's a mid-tier character, but he does have a lot of unique attributes like his cargo throw, which is one of the most unique throws in the game, as other characters don't have a throw where they can walk and carry their opponents off off stage and throw them again. Donkey Kong can actually combo fast followers pretty well because he has great throws and they actually do really well against them. So while I mean he can be outclassed by other high tier characters, of course Marth can outrange him because of his sword. Of course Captain Falcon is going to have better bread and butter combos and better neutral tools, but Donkey Kong has aspects of many other characters in the cast, like Marth and Falcon, while having his own unique attributes as well. While he is pretty middle of the road right now, it's possible he could go up in the future depending on how people want to play DK or not. Donkey Kong also lacks solid approaching tools, as we brought up earlier. However, he doesn't really have a lot of other neutral tools outside of his back air, so it is kind of limiting in that way. Donkey Kong, when he is getting in and using his combo confirms, that's when he truly looks really great. He can be a menace off stage, and when it's the opponent's turn, that's when Donkey Kong's weaknesses start to show off. DK is really close to being actually a really solid character in the game. If his weaknesses were toned down, he would probably be a top level character, and he would have the KO power and speed to actually be a top level character, which is pretty rare in the low to mid tier characters, as a lot of them are actually pretty slow. DK does not have that problem. DK is actually pretty fast. However, he is still 16th on Melee's most recent tier list, which means he is pretty rare in competitive play, and it's mainly because of that. If only he was given buffs in some way. Oh, I wonder if there's a game out... Oh! Donkey Kong and Project M. Donkey Kong was heavily buffed during the transition to Project M. Even during the many buffs that DK received in PM, he is still an underrated character even in the early days of the game. DK in PM is still a fast-falling character, still a heavyweight character, and most people would describe him as being a grappler. Grappler is a character that might lack a projectile or the same mobility tools that other characters have in the roster, but once they get in and use their grabs, they're actually really rewarding. In fact, his cargo throw is his bread and butter combo starter even in PM. One of the most popular cargo combos is cargo into forward air, but really you can just do cargo into anything. That's how good the move is in DK's moveset. So it's super good utility wise and a big part of his moveset and overall combo game. Despite being a heavyweight grappler, this time DK is actually a little bit faster than he was in Melee. His speed is definitely buffed compared to Melee, since all of his moves across the board have less ending lag and his dash speed is now on par with characters like Marth. His attacks now have a little bit of intangibility. This was given to the moves during the transition to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The hitbox placement on Donkey Kong's arms have also been adjusted as well, and now the hitboxes cover his entire arms, which was definitely a problem with the character in Melee. His up tilt has less ending lag. This helps with starting combos. His down tilt does more damage and has higher knockback. Jab has less startup, and this makes it an amazing combo starting tool. Forward smash and up smash have more knockback. Dash attack was completely changed to be a roll attack, which is a reference to the actual Donkey Kong Country games. This roll attack is really quick and you can roll off ledges. It has light armor on it and you can jump out of it in midair. It is a huge buff considering that the original version of Melee was just a simple dash attack. His aerials across the board are all faster. Some of his aerials come out sooner than they did before. They are night and day better compared to how slow they were and how much startup they had in Melee. Nair has more range. It's a great combo starter. Forward air, more specifically, can now spike, which is such a deadly move off stage, especially out of his cargo. You'll see this move a lot with DK mains. It's really popular, kill confirm. Up air is a great combo tool for starting combos, and it's so fast you can even break out of combos with this move, so it definitely has utility. Down air has much less end lag, and it hits like a truck. His back air is still a great approaching tool like it was in Melee. His back throw actually has slightly better KO capabilities. His down B has much larger hitboxes, and you can tech chase with it and do shield pressure with it. Side B was given spike hitboxes instead of meteor hitboxes, which makes the move a lot better at edge guarding, and neutral B no longer puts Donkey Kong in special fall when he uses it in the air. This is a big deal for Donkey Kong because this allows Giant Punch to be an amazing tool, and he can really return back on stage and use this move off stage and be just fine and not have to sacrifice a stock for doing that, which in Melee, if he were to do that, he would actually lose a stock. Such a small change to the move, but it gives it so much more utility and combo potential now. In P+, Donkey Kong is now able to use down B in the air, and he now is an aerial version of the attack. The move seems to be a strong tool as it's a large slap attack. It doesn't put DK in free fall either, which is nice. Donkey Kong's weaknesses are still his rather limited recovery. While it's not as bad as how it was in Melee, his recovery is still rather weak vertically. I'm sure that's just by design, to be honest. He has a short wave dash, his jump squat is kind of slow, and he's still a big character without a projectile, so he's going to have trouble getting in at times. It's going to mean he can get comboed because he's a larger character character model. DK initially in the earlier updates for PM was actually seen as a mid to low tier character, which is kind of funny because the character is definitely quite the opposite now. A player named Thunder's Reign is the key reason why Donkey Kong rose so high in the meta, basically redefining the character and showing the true capabilities of Donkey Kong in PM, going to the point of being one of Project M's best players during his reign, with Donkey Kong alone is also pretty insane to see. On most recent tier lists, Donkey Kong is seen as an A tier character, which is actually really solid. And thankfully, DK was seen a lot more in the meta thanks to people like Thunder's Reign going so far with the character and making him look really good. So in conclusion, Donkey Kong's strengths are his amazing combo game. If you like fast grappler characters, that's essentially what DK is. He's really rewarding if you truly understand the capabilities of the character. Thus, he was tremendously buffed between Melee to PM, and it feels like the PM version of the character is a much more actualized version of what the character was trying to be in Melee. Alright you guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. There's a Patreon down below in the description, so if you guys want to get videos early, there's a Patreon down below. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you guys want to see more of me or more content, I do stream during the weekends, so come through on those weekend streams. Alright you guys, take care. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and peace.